This is a freaking mess so far. Good God. Hi.
Hello.
We'll make it all work though. We shall make it work.
Yes.
There's 18 people in the waiting room, so that's good.
Yeah.
All right, that's awesome. Let's do this.
Yeah. I think now we just need a Donica. Sherry's sick, clearly, then Shonda's got her work stuff going on. I always set up my phone so I can see what they're seeing. So I can know, if like something's jacked up. Can't get it to stay. There we go. The one that says WC is my phone. So, okay. Whoo! Now I'm just like worried and kick us out.
You got this, Jesse.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm like, I'm worried about, oh my God. I didn't realize that Donica was on our account, so she might need help setting up her own, Sarah.
I have her, she's set up on there under her own email.
Yeah, I don't know why it did that then. Weird.
Yeah.
I was on a call with her earlier, and when I got off, it kicked us all off. And so she got back on a different account. I don't know.
Oh, she might have got on under our account. So she best not be kicking us out of here because I'll kill her. Okay. All right, it's 10:30, so I'm gonna let everybody in. So there's 22 people in now. Woo, here we go.
All right.
Wow. Hey everyone.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good to see you all. We're just going to give it another minute or two here to get everybody out of the waiting room into the Zoom, and then we will get started in just a minute. Sarah, I like your new hair.
Thank you, thank you.
At first I was like, who is that?
Yeah, it's a big change.
It looks great.
I had to change all of my facial recognition stuff because apparently cutting my hair made my face a whole new person, so.
All right. Well, we are going to go ahead and mute everyone. At the end, we will have opportunity for questions. So you guys all at this point, I'm sure, know how to unmute yourself. If not, you can put a question in the chat. Sarah from our team will be moderating the chat today, so you can feel free to ask questions there if you don't want to forget them for the end. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and screen share, and then we'll get started. Okay. Awesome. Let's see. All right. All right. So first of all, thank you guys all for coming onto this call today. I know you're all crazy, crazy busy right now. But we thought it would be a great opportunity, especially right now. We've really seen an influx of questions about the Women's Business Center and how we are helping with COVID relief for your customers. So we thought it would be a great opportunity to do something all of us together and educate everybody at once and go on from there. So some of you on this call are very familiar with the Women's Business Center. Some of you may have just heard of us, and some of you, this is the first time you've ever heard of us at all. And what we find out a lot is even people who have partnered with us sometimes or might even be a sponsor don't actually understand what we do fully. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to keep it as brief as possible. Like I said, I know you guys all have a lot going on, so I'm just going to jump right into it. So if I can get my slides to go. So at our core, the purpose of the Women's Business Center is to provide small business development specifically for women and minority and low income people in all of our communities. So that doesn't mean that's the only people we serve. We actually also serve men. I have to always make sure to share that. We don't market to men, but about 15% of our clients each year are men. So we can help any customers you have, but with a lot of our programming, our focus is on women, minority, and low-income community members. So how this all got started, this is a question we get a lot, is how did this come to be? So the Women's Business Center, we are a program of Central Missouri Community Action, and I know my director, Darren Priest, is on here. Hi, Darren, wave at everyone. Well, I guess they can't see you while I'm doing a slideshow, but so Darren is the Executive Director of Central Missouri Community Action, and CMCA has been fighting against poverty since, I believe, the 60s in mid-Missouri. And so we cover the same footprint, you can see there on the slide. But about 5 years ago, Darren had an opportunity to bring in a women's business center to the mid-Missouri area. He knew that in the fight against poverty, that we needed an economic development arm to create self-sustaining income for the clients of CMCA. So the Small Business Administration, which right now I know every single one of you on this call is very familiar with SBA at this point. 6 months ago, maybe not as much, but now definitely. So we're funded by the SBA, and I'll talk about that in a second. And so there are women's business centers all over the nation, about 120 centers across the nation, and we work with the small business development centers as well that you might be familiar with. We have 3 physical locations in Columbia. We're mostly virtual right now, but we absolutely still meet one-on-one in person with clients if they need. And so you can find us in Fulton, Columbia, or Jeff City, as you see there on the slide. But the other part of that is we travel to our clients as well. So if we have a client in Mexico that needs help, we will go to Mexico and help them. So I wanted to take a brief moment to introduce our team. We've grown amazingly this spring. Prior to COVID, it was just myself, Sherry Major on the top left, and Sarah Fuller on the bottom left, kind of operating all of this out of our 8 counties. But with the CARES Act, the Women's Business Centers did get some funding to add more coaches on. So you can see all of our new coaches, some of which are on this call today. So I wanted to give them a second to introduce themselves. They're all amazing women who are all entrepreneurs and are working part-time at the Women's Business Center while also running their business. So I was going to introduce them. Jen, do you want to unmute and introduce yourself?
Sure, happy to. Thanks for letting me do that. I'm Jennifer Shank, and I'm a part-time business coach here at the Missouri Women's Business Center. And I am specifically tasked with helping make community connections and doing business coaching in Cooper, Howard, and Montauk counties. And I live out in Boonville.
Thanks, Jen. Jen, before even coming on with us, she has been a board member of the Women's Business Center, and a lot of you know she's very active in all of our communities. Sarah Sear.
Sarah Sear, and I also am a part-time business coach at the Missouri Women's Business Center. I love coaching women, whether they're starting their business or they're growing their business. I've been in business several years. I also have a private practice where I coach on wellness topics. Happy to be here and work with you guys today.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. I think all of our other coaches are either in trainings right now or coaching clients. So we also have Adonica Pullman and Shonda Hamilton, who have recently joined our team. And so each of these women is tasked with a specific part of our strategic plan, whether it's reaching more minority women, or it's Sarah's a huge influence on our food-based clients because she owned a restaurant in Columbia for 15 years. So between all of us, we have an enormous amount of expertise to provide your customers when they're starting businesses. The whole point of this call today is not just to tell you guys what all we do, it's to show you how we can be a tool in your toolbox, and that this is a completely free resource to you to aid your clients in startup or expansion of their business. So I'm going to keep going with that. So I wanted to run through really quickly all of our services we provide that you can be referring to your clients. The first of which, and which is the core of everything we do, is our business coaching. So it's, again, completely free to your client. We do everything from, I have an idea, now what do I do? We help register LLCs. You guys, I'm sure, have seen that where people come in and they need a business loan, but they don't have an LLC, they don't have any of that. So in the past, what do? You might refer them to an attorney or a CPA, which that's fine, but that also can cost, you know, $1,000 or more when it's a very simple process most of the time. It costs $52 to the state of Missouri. So we're able to save the clients a lot of unnecessary expenses right from the start. We also, with that coaching, have a program called Live Plan, which I know some of you on this call are familiar with, but if not, it's an amazing business planning software, and it creates beautiful formatted business plans that come with 3-year financial projections. And so a lot of our partners have used those and really think highly of these business plans. It really gives clients a perspective of their pricing models and being able to see that, you know, where their pricing is and how quickly they're going to be able to break even and things like that. So it's incredible software that we're able to provide clients at no cost. We also have LaunchU. We'll talk a little bit more about that. That's our 36-hour business planning course. Definitely some of our best startups come from that course. We offer lots of workshops on minority and women-owned certification. We have masterminds every week and all types of stuff. And then really the most important thing right now has been the COVID-19 relief. You guys have all been in the depths of it. So where we played into that was helping clients to procure all the things that they needed to put those packages together. I know you guys saw it as much as we did of people that really didn't even have a basic understanding of where their financials were and they needed a PPP loan. So we have worked tremendously with that, and we're still there even after PPP has since expired. Now we're working on forgiveness applications and, more importantly, grant packages. So for example, with our City of Columbia grant that's coming up, we're putting together a boot camp to help our clients put together their packages, because it's intimidating. And you know, things like, what is a DUNS number? Why do I need one? So we're going to be running people through to get all of that at once, just to have in their, you know, in their toolbox to apply for any grant at any time. So those are things that you guys probably don't have time to do, but whenever you have a client that says, I need a grant or I don't know what I'm doing, that's where we come in to provide that education for them and for you. So I just wanted to briefly talk about LaunchU because this is such an important part of what we do, and we're really going to be ramping that up here in the next month. So this is an official curriculum out of Southeast Missouri State. All of us who teach it are certified to teach it. And it is a people come in with an idea and they leave with a full business plan and financial projections. Sometimes we have clients come in who actually are in business already, but they didn't ever write a business plan and now they need one. Oops, hold on, I was admitting I saw somebody was in the waiting room. And it's Sarah, if you can help mute whoever is in the background, that would be great. So we're going completely virtual with this program starting in September, which is something we've needed to do for a long time. And thanks to COVID, we've been catapulted into all virtual. So we'll have more information on that coming out. It's a great resource for any of your clients. So a lot of times people go, okay, you know, you talk all this stuff, but what are the outcomes of your center? So in the last 4 years, we have had over 50 business launches. You can see some of them on the right that are some of my favorite ones to talk about. With low nail bar. Hold on one second, I'm gonna mute. I think it's Joe.
Why would they not want you to take a COVID test?
No, it's not.
Our doc said.
Okay. There we go. Much better. So anyway, you can see some of our clients here. The reason I highlighted specifically Taqueria Don Pancho, this is a perfect example of a bank relationship with us that worked tremendously. And I'm sure Garrett is on this call. Yes, I see him now.
Taqueria Don Pancho, baby.
I see he unmuted, so he would like to say something. But this is really an ideal client for the Women's Business Center. Again, even though they're not women. But, you know, this is someone that they were running a little business, maybe not, you know, set up as an LLC as they should have been, didn't know anything about accounting, wanted a bank loan. And so Garrett and I worked together extensively on this client, and now they're doing tremendously. So that's the type of stuff that we can do with all of your banks, is to partner with those banking relationships and those customers who need help understanding the ins and outs of running a business. This was also a great case because Garrett was bilingual. So we have those opportunities to work with all clients, even when language is a barrier, to work with people at your bank. And we also have translators on our CMCA team. But we've also counseled 1,200 clients in the last 4 years, and you can see we've helped access 1.6 million in capital for our clients. But the key to this is to look at those loan amounts. So the average loan amount is $40,000, but for loans under $100,000, which is the majority, the average loan size is $17,000. So we're really looking at that micro loan size of capital. Let's see. So again, this is, how are we going to impact your bank? That's why you're here today. So you guys all have seen it. People come into your bank and they say, I need a business loan. And it even makes me laugh because we see it too. They come in and they say, I need money. We say, okay, tell us about your business. And, they can't answer basic questions about their business model. They have bad credit. They definitely don't have a business plan, things like that. So what happens there, and we've also seen this, is sometimes, and I know you guys are doing your best, but sometimes you might hit them with a no so hard that they come back to us, or they just go back out and they're defeated, right? I've seen it. And I will tell you that even the fostering the positive relationship, one thing you might not know about me, especially if you're new to the Women's Business Center, is I ran a business for 7 years before coming onto the Women's Business Center. And I'm a firsthand experience of, I had no relationship with my bank in terms of knowing that my banker was there to help me. If the bank was calling me, I thought for sure I was in trouble, or I was overdrafted, or something like that. And so what we do is a ton of education on the positive relationship to have with your banker. And I think that really came to a head with COVID, because so many clients said, well, I don't know a banker. I don't have a banker I can call. So we really build that relationship as a unit between you, your customer, and us. So you're able to, instead of saying, no, you don't have a business plan, come back when you have a business plan. You say, wow, we really want to help you, but you need to go over to the Women's Business Center, and they have all these great resources to help you write a business plan. Because 9 times out of 10, if you send someone away without referring them to someone, you're not going to write that business plan. And maybe sometimes that's for the better. And like I put on the slide, that doesn't mean that we help every single person start a business. If it's truly a bad idea, or you just don't have the grit to pull it off, we also can coach them, into other areas. So it really just takes the pressure off of you guys to say, no, your business idea sucks, and send them to us so that we can help either pivot their idea or help them build upon their great idea. And I just put this in here. I thought this is such a neat statistic from Inc.com that 70% of mentored businesses will last more than 5 years, which is double the rate of non-mentored businesses. So it's just an absolute asset for us to have with you guys to coach your customers, you guys on the financial side, and then we're helping with all the ins and outs of running a business. So I wanted to talk a tiny bit about alternative capital and micro lending. I've gotten a lot of calls from your banks lately about these options. So in our world, we classify a microloan as anything under $20,000. So a lot of our clients, and I'm sure yours, are credit challenged, or they maybe only need $5,000 and it's just not really worth your time or energy to do a loan of that size. And that's where we have several partnerships set up. So the first one I wanted to talk about is Kiva. If you're unfamiliar with Kiva, it's an incredible crowdsourcing platform for those smaller types of loans. The beauty of Kiva is that it's 0% interest and it's not credit based. So this is an ideal microloan platform for those needing about $10,000 or less to do things like website upgrades, or I have a client that's got a Kiva going right now to get her booth going at the farmer's market. And she's going to end up being a big client that's probably going to need a lot more money down the road. But right now she just needs that little startup capital. So that's an incredible platform. CMCA is partnered with Rural Lisk on that. And so we match all of our loans there as well. So if a borrower needs $10,000, we match $5,000 of it. So it's a really cool platform, and we're also a trustee. So we've seen a lot of uptick in that. A lot of our bank partners are asking, how can we help support that? because it is such a powerful microloan. The other really successful program, and I've talked to some of you guys about this before, is our microloan program at the Callaway Bank. This is a program that was set up specifically for Women's Business Center clients, and I invited Jason Ramsey from Callaway Bank onto this call today to share a little bit about how they've made that work and the success we've had with it. I know a lot of your banks have been interested in setting up something similar, and so Jason, are you able to connect?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool. Good morning, Jesse and everyone on the call. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to participate and talk. Darren, refresh my memory, but I think I was your board president when you wrote the grant for the SBA for the Women's Business Center, and we get that done at the CMCA board level.
That's exactly right, Jason. You
cool.
led the way.
Yeah. Well, you did all the work. I do remember that being a monumental undertaking. So the Women's Business Center is very special, near and dear to my heart and to my bank president's heart. Kim Barnes is extremely active and supportive of the program. And a couple of years ago, she came to me with an idea to start a microloan program, realizing that had all but vanished in the Columbia area. And we developed a program. We've developed a policy that allows for borrowers that have no collateral, are credit challenged. It's a startup, that they need a small amount to borrow up to $25,000 over a 5-year period. We've fixed the interest rate at prime plus 3%, and we basically still following the requirements for traditional bank lending, we do those loans. And I think we've done probably 20 to 25 here at the bank, and all of them have been very successful. The key component, and Jesse's previous slide just speaks to this, is that there is a business coaching component to that. Before you even get to the point of giving me tax returns and financials, is that you do have to meet with a business coach at the Women's Business Center. And that's your first stop, even if I am your first stop in looking for the financing. I have developed a really strong relationship with Sherry and Jesse and the coaches there, and the counseling that they've given the borrowers. And honestly, I trust that they are leading them down the correct path. So when they come back to me, and Jesse and Sherry have validated that they've met with him, they've developed their business plan, I feel very confident that this person has put in the effort and frankly deserves to borrow $5,000 or whatever it may be to get their business going. So we've done everything that we can within our normal rules and regulations to get the money into their hands as quickly as possible. And so far we've been really successful and happy with that. So
awesome. Thank you so much, Jason. And I didn't pay him to say that.
Right.
I really appreciate it. And a question I get a lot from people I talk to is, well, does the Callaway Bank care that you're kind of encouraging other people to do this same program? And I'm like, absolutely not. No, Jason, a lot of times our clients will need more than the amount that Callaway Bank will provide. So then we'll pair it with a second microloan. So I think we're going to be getting busier and busier to where we want to have these types of microloan programs across all of our bank partners. And as Jason can tell you, like those microloans turn into long-term relationships with these clients and hopefully larger capital infusions down the road. So it's just a great opportunity. And after this call, you guys can all feel free to reach out to me about how we would set something like that up. So thank you again, Jason. Let's see. So there's so many ways that your bank can help us. One of them is to provide scholarships for LaunchU. So that falls into the donation sponsorship type of realm, but even just volunteering. So that LaunchU curriculum, each segment of the curriculum has a very specific focus, whether it's financials, whether it's bank relationships, whether it's startup capital, that type of stuff. So each unit, we invite a banker or a CPA to join us to help teach these clients. One of our most recent LaunchUs was held at Prosper U at Central Bank. And Sarah can speak to those types of relationships that end up transforming into banking relationships as well, which is your mission at the end of the day. So there's a lot of opportunity to volunteer, to help us lead classes, all types of stuff like that. Referring your customers is huge. We want to help your customers. We want to have those types of relationships with you, where we're working together to get startups going. Also, market research. Several of your banks have access to very expensive market research software that we cannot afford. So we love those. Thanks, Jeff Carr. I see you in the background over there. He's helped us many times with market research platforms. So that's a huge one. Microloan funds, like we just talked about. And of course, donating and sponsorships. Wow, Darren will kill me. I can't believe I literally forgot to tell you how we're funded. I must have skipped right over that slide. So we are funded by the Small Business Administration, like I mentioned, and that's a 1-to-1 match grant. So we do have a lot of fundraising and sponsorship drive type of stuff we do every year. It does require us to raise about $75,000 a year in matching funds. So that's where the donations and sponsorships, foundations, and other places you can get involved do come into play. But that's not what I'm here for today. I really want to just educate you on what we can provide to your customer, and then talk about that, once our relationship is established. You can see a quick snapshot of this year's sponsors. Always, very thankful to many of you who are on this call today that you can see here on the slide. We really appreciate, you're the reason we're able to offer this service to the community and continue to grow in the way that we have. So I'm just going to open it up for questions now. Darren, you're more than welcome to say anything if you would like, or if anybody has any testimonials or questions, the floor is open. So feel free to unmute yourself.
Jesse, the only thing that I would add is that the Missouri Women's Business Center doesn't work without bank partners. You all are really the ones that are the lifeblood behind it. We are sort of icing on the cake, but you guys have all the mechanisms behind the scenes that make this kind of economic initiative work. So we appreciate you being on the call, and to whatever extent we can ramp up our partnerships. Jason did a great job of explaining the relationship with Callaway Bank, and that's been critical to the success of a lot of our clients. And I know that you guys would all like to see that for the people who you're banking. We know that economic stability starts with a banking relationship, and we want to extend that to the small business world and really help people to make their own way.
Yeah, absolutely, Darren. Thank you. And if you guys, I know that what do they say about Zoom calls? You only remember like the first 2 minutes of it or something. If you guys take nothing else away from this, it's just to remember us as a tool in your toolbox, so that when you get those people coming into your bank that say, they want a business loan or they need help starting a business, but they're not ready for your services, that's absolutely where we shine. So please make sure to refer them to us. I meant to have it on the slide here, but I didn't finish editing it. All you need to do is go to our website and have them fill out the form. It's just MoWBC.org. I'm going to put it here in the chat. You can also, most of you guys follow our Facebook page. That's a great resource about grants that are out. I know, I'll give another great example of a bank that's doing this very well, Mark over at Bank of Missouri. So he's a subscriber of our newsletter, and he just takes a lot of the grants that we put out and sends them to his clients. So we just are constantly feeding our clientele and our newsletter base with grant opportunities and relief opportunities and things like that. So make sure that you go to our website, sign up for that, and follow us on Facebook, because we just have just a ton of resources for you and your customers. Are there any other questions? Any confusion still?
Nope. Jesse, this is Leslie Tanner at Central Bank. How much is it for a customer to join the Launch You program?
That's a great question, Leslie. So in the past, it did have a fee associated with it, but we've actually pivoted that model because while the class was only $250,000, we realized that was a barrier. I mean, our mission is to help those who need help the most to get their businesses off the ground. So at this point, our Launch You classes are completely scholarship based. So that's a great opportunity for banks to get involved by providing funds to scholarship people through. So it is free to our clients at this point. They do have to apply for a scholarship just to make sure that they've got it together enough to be able to complete the course. Any other questions? I know your brains are probably ticking about how this would work with your bank, specific things we can be doing together. Every relationship we have with a bank is unique. We usually will have 1 or 2 contacts at each bank that's the person we go to every time. So I'd love to get more information from you about who that person is and how we can partner together more so that we're more front of mind to you to refer over. If there's no other questions, then you guys can jump off whenever you want. I'll stay on if people do have any specific questions. You can stay on and ask that. Otherwise, I absolutely appreciate all of you guys coming on to this call today, and I hope that you found it educational about what we can do for your customers. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Garrett.
Hey, Jesse,
Hi.
will you send me the link to your new person that's raising money on Kiva?
Yes, she's not live yet, Mark, and as soon as she is, I will.
Okay.
We were trying to get through some hoops on her address because they were not accepting her address as her, it was just complicated, but we're making it work. Hi, DC.
Nice presentation. Just wanted
Thanks. Do you feel more confident about what we do now?
Man, I've always had confidence in you guys. So.
Thank you.
I only had questions when you hired Jennifer. Just kidding.
Yes.
Just kidding.
Jenny, thanks for joining today. Congratulations on your new role.
Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate the offer.
Hey, Jesse, can you hear me okay?
Yes. Hi, Garrett.
I'm kind of, thank you again for putting this together. We freaking love you guys. There's a lot of people who, obviously, I think as the generations are changing and our cultures are changing, we're getting a lot of people who we can give advocacy and equity and access to banking. And you guys are a huge part of that. So super thankful for that. One question I do have is, are you seeing now a huge influx in people coming in entrepreneurship-wise due to the pandemic? And what are some things that we could do to help you as that's going on outside of just doing referrals?
Well, yeah, we are seeing a major influx. Like, for example, in July, we had over double the amount of clients as last July. I'm not sure of course I can always say we need more money, which is true because we need to get our launch use off the ground and get those going because we have so many people that have decided to launch businesses because of what they're experiencing with COVID, whether it's they lost their job or they just know that they can't rely on whatever they were doing before. So we're seeing a huge uptick in startups. So Launch U is going to be a big push. I'm definitely going to be reaching out across the board for scholarship money for Launch U. And then, like we said, volunteering for sessions for Launch U.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And best of luck on that. And thanks for being willing to take folks in. I think every bank here would obviously echo and say we're here to help you take on people once they're ready to make the big jump. So
awesome. Well, thanks, Garrett. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting. I appreciate all of you guys and my team. I'll talk to you on our chat. See you later. Thanks, guys.